And we're back.
Back.
Episode 6. Do. We're finished with our music series. How fun was that?
That was sweet.
We educated ourselves on ourselves.
yeah. Maybe let some insight to other people, but
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no, it was a good time. So this one, we're going to have a bit different today, something a bit more fun, a bit lighter. We're going to talk about movies that cannot, or TV series that cannot be made in today's climate. Movies and TV shows that we've watched or grown up with, and shows that we believe that probably you can't make them quite the same as they were
I think there's
back
only
in the day.
there's only a couple like South Park that still can just get away with it.
Yeah, South Park can just crank
And Family
it
Guy,
away.
you know?
Family Guy still do it, yeah.
I think they just got like an arsenal of lawyers that
Yeah.
just really just hammer out.
It just must all be down to like just entertainment, right? Just like, it's just entertainment. I don't know. How would you get that across the line?
Fuck, you wouldn't get it across now.
Nah.
You wouldn't get any of that stuff because there's like
You
everything
wouldn't,
in it. Yeah.
You really wouldn't. Okay, I have my first one. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sean Connery James Bond films.
Yeah.
Could you make that?
It's misogynistic.
Money Penny.
Yes. Fuck you, bitch.
Just slapping booties, or just being like... I watched a compilation of him just slapping women. It's just like, fuck.
And we're sitting here laughing about it, which makes it even worse.
It does make it worse. But that shit was so normal back then. What wasn't his whole thing? Like, we just give them a little slap, you know? Like, he would even say
think he
that.
even stood by it.
He stood by it, yeah. Like, giving women a little slap. It's like, damn, Sean.
Because actually funny on that. That's the and the cinema thing that can't get showed these days. The slapping of the woman. There was a movie called, I think it's called Aeroplane, and it had Leslie Nielsen. There's a scene in that where they're slapping an air hostess as they all go past her. It's just like, fuck.
It's just there.
You just couldn't do it these days.
Yeah, definitely not. So
No.
I heard someone talk about this on another podcast. I think it might have been Andrew Schultz, actually. He's quite funny, but he said that, and I kind of agree, like, domestic abuse in the home, one of his like a theory around it, which I'm like, that could be quite true, is like it might have like once you put like like how the family acts, but they're on camera. So if you like suddenly see what it looks like when you're hitting women, you know, on camera, because no one, I mean, before like what? When did the 40s or like no, the 20s and 30s? I think when like film started, like not film started, but like going to the movies and all that, and then certain TV shows, I can't quote you them, but maybe even like watching like Gone with the Wind now. Like I haven't actually seen the whole of the movie Gone with the Wind, but I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of woman smashing in there.
Well, there's like even like the Wizard of Oz with all like the little people.
Yeah.
It was like I was just like, well, you can't show that these days. There's little dwarves running around there like, we're little people, and it's like, yes, you are little people.
There's little people. but like that's the thing. It's like did hitting women stop because suddenly people were watching it on camera?
I don't know.
Is that one of the reasons that probably enforced not feminism, but people being like, maybe that's not great. Maybe that's a bit brutal. I mean, or even like hitting kids and stuff.
I don't know. I was smacked as a child, and I don't mind. I'm still there today. Fuck.
No, but obviously I'm talking about way back then.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about now.
Nah.
I'm talking about then, if like that started the how
Fuck, even like Once We Were Warriors, eh? But that's not like comedy or anything. That's just
it's a serious
that's
documentary.
like
yeah, that's brutal.
life.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway, we won't go into that. It's fucking very dark, that film, Once We Were Warriors. If you haven't seen it, it's very raw and sadly real.
Yeah, it's very
real in New Zealand. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, just be warned if you do watch it. It's a brilliant film, but it's just fucking
great film.
It'll break you. Yes, but Sean Connery. Yep.
James Bond movies. I used to love those. The thing is, when you watch them as a kid, don't even think anything about any of that. So you just have no idea. You're just having fun. Or like that scene, I love them. Was it Goldfinger? That was my favorite one. And then he's like, "What do you expect?" He's like getting about like he's like the laser beam.
Oh yeah,
Kill him. So what do you expect me to do? Nothing. I expect you to die, Mr. Bond. Aha! I loved all the villains back then. They're all European.
Yeah, I know. That's so
It's like England versus Europe.
Oh, that's good.
Russian
that's
billionaire. Like Russian billionaire or like Eastern Europe, like million billionaires with like a secret base inside a island.
Good. Yeah. What was one?
So fun.
What one that I think it just covers so much of everything is Team America.
Oh, I love that. America!
Fuck yeah!
I love that movie.
Yeah. Durka bakalaka darka.
You can't do
Sherpa Muhammad
That's
Jihad.
made by the South Park guys.
Yeah, I know.
South Park.
That's what
guys
I'm saying.
made that
Like
one, yeah.
Muhammad Jihad. It's just like so fucking racist. And they're like paint his face all like brown and stick pubes to it. And I was just like, oh my god.
And then like they go and like bomb somewhere and it's like you've been given it's like freedom or something.
Yeah, but he's even going on about like fucking the guy in charge was like, Gary sucked my cock. AIDS.
Everybody's got AIDS.
Yeah, you can't say that shit these days. And when the thing is, we're not making it up. This is just stuff you can go out and watch.
It's all there.
It's hilarious.
It's all there. But it's like entertainment. I guess it's now been.
It's kind of,
but it hasn't as well because you can find independent stuff that gets released all the time. But it's not in like the mainstream sort of world of entertainment, like sort of provocative or pushing the boundaries now to be shocking is not like cool anymore. Because I feel like that used to be something that was like cool, right? Like let's see how far we can push film, TV, how explicit, how violent, how fucking shock value. Whereas I feel like it's there's not much of that now. People want to play it safe.
Well, everyone's a snowflake, right?
I think it's not just snowflake. I think people are scared of not making money.
Fuck, man. If someone gave me a lot of money, like, and said, what film do you want? Oh, dude, I'd come up with some nasty shit. And it would just cover everything. I'd be going at the whites, the blacks, the Asians, the Indians. I'd be going at everybody. I'd be doing I'd get like Eddie Murphy in there because that dude was just brilliant at ripping apart everyone.
He was, yeah.
He could rip apart white people, black people. It didn't matter. He was just ripping you apart.
Yeah.
So I was just like, if I was to do a film, I'd totally go the opposite to this whole woke movement. Just go back to the old days, man. It was fun.
But the thing is, what you got to remember is that Hollywood doesn't make as much money now.
No.
So what are they going to do in order to secure their, returns? They're going to play it safe.
They'll just become a political party.
Hollywood's disgusting. If that became a political party, I'm against it.
Yeah.
Because everyone can make high quality films now. You don't even need Hollywood. I mean, you do and you don't. Like, it's fun. They still make some fun films, but I would say most of it's unoriginal.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. I mean, what Mission Impossible 12? What are we on now?
Oh, God. Until Tom Cruise has a bad accident in some of his films. What's another one? What's like films that can't...
Okay, Tropic Thunder.
I was gonna say that!
Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder. I love that movie. But you can't... That's not even that long ago.
Robert Downey Jr.
It's not even... Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
And
Don't say that word. It's kept us down for generations.
The blackface. He did blackface.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Oh, I think
that's a fucking great movie. Yep. God, that's funny.
Yeah. That's fucking brilliant. What else?
But you definitely couldn't make that anymore. No way.
No. I think like the South Park people, them and like they're kind of like TV series. They have made films as well. Yeah, South Park got away with a lot. Family Guy got away with a lot. They still do, but
still do.
I think there's just a lot of lawsuits involved with getting it on air.
Yeah, it must be. I think it's always been that case of Family Guy. So Seth MacFarlane said that Family Guy was the first one to start before American Dad. So he started Family Guy like in the 90s. It went for a season, and then something happened where like it didn't get cancelled or something wasn't working out. So then he made American Dad, which is kind of like not that different, right, from Family Guy. It's still like a family and, kind of that family sitcom cartoon humor.
Yeah.
But then Family Guy then started back up. But he was like, I need to have one show going. But then he just had two shows going at the same time. Man, apparently it was like an accident.
So
he didn't actually mean to have like two sitcoms running at the same time. I think he just wanted Family Guy to just be like the sole one, but then it wasn't working out, or some problem happened, and then he made American Dad.
Do you reckon they could do Seinfeld these days? Because even that had like references to...
It had some. I don't know if Seinfeld's pretty harmless, though. It's a pretty harmless show.
I suppose.
It's pretty harmless.
In some ways.
I haven't actually watched much of Seinfeld. I've seen a little bit, but not heaps.
A little bit before your time.
Little bit. But I've seen a little bit. No, I was I watched Friends. That's what I watched.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what other movies can't be shown these days?
Rush Hour. That'd be difficult to make. That was my favorite series when I was like a teenager. I thought it was so funny. I thought it was like good. It's so funny.
It is so good. Yeah. No, definitely. That was like
it's just so funny, but it's definitely made by probably a white person. But Lee, that shit is great. Carter.
Well,
that shit's so good.
Oh, there was heaps of that stuff, but that's why I was saying of like the stuff that like Eddie Murphy used to do, the films he used to be in, man. He was just going at everyone.
But it's just a shame because it's like you get to like laugh at your differences and have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just having fun with our differences rather than being like, this is insulting. It's just like it's meant to be funny.
Well, there's like
because within this there's an element of truth in being like, yeah, that happens.
Well, like the is it the Wayne brothers that did White Chicks?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you probably could do that these days.
You probably...
Because white people are the devil.
Though. Yeah, but still sensitive, though. Still sensitive. It'd be hard... I reckon it would still be difficult to make a movie like that.
But see, it's so good.
But so good.
I don't mind that they're mocking two white bitches, man. Like,
funny.
That's all good.
It's funny.
That's crack up. And they do such a good job of it.
Nail it.
They're brilliant. And they did, like, the scary movie thing as well. Yeah. I actually remember going to those films. The Scary Movie 2. I think it was Scary Movie 2. Me and my mates went and watched it at the cinema, and we just blazed a huge and went and watched it, bro. We were just like, I remember I was like nearly throwing up because we were just like munged out of our brain in the cinema, right? You know, and you're like young and you're trying to, oh bro, don't say you've got the munchies, and all of us have got large popcorns, just like scoffing out, just wasted as in the cinema watching Scary Movie 2.
I remember I saw one of the scary movies and I actually got really freaked out, but I actually got scared by the scary movie.
What?
I was young. I was like 8. But it actually freaked me out. I remember that.
Stuff the turkey, child. Grabbing them with strong hand.
That's something else that's not around anymore. The scary movies and like the epic movie and all that stuff, gone.
Because it went against like just everything. It was just mocking.
Those parody movies are just like, they went out of fashion. They were really popular. Not another teen movie. Like there was so many of those parody, like take the piss sort of shows.
I think that, and it needs it. You know, we need a bit of humor in our life. I think like we need a bit of mocking each other as opposed to being so serious about all
everything.
This, that, and Yeah, I don't know. Am I allowed to even say the word gay?
Yeah.
If I meet a gay couple and go, oh, you're gay, cool. No, we're LGB 97261 plus NASA space technology. I don't even know what that is. If someone's gay, they're gay. But we're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, well, I think it's the movement though, isn't it? It's not really the people.
Yeah.
I think it's like all this. If you're part of a movement, you kind of just suck. That's what I think.
What other things?
Like anyone a part of any type of movement, I think you're just a bit. I just don't think you're that great as a person.
What other things would they not allowed to be put into films these days?
What, allowed not to be put in films?
Well, like films that we're like, oh, they couldn't do that these days. Because I know like White Chicks would be controversial.
Controversial?
Yeah. That
American Pie?
Oh, no, you probably could do that these days. That's a little bit like Superbad or something like that.
But Superbad? Could you even make Superbad now?
Yeah.
You'd think so.
It's good too.
Superbad's good. But American Pie films, like, I don't know.
Anchorman?
Yeah, they made Anchorman 2 not too long ago.
Yeah.
That was good. Anchorman 2 was hilarious.
Yeah, fair enough.
I reckon they still could.
God, imagine if they can't do any of this and like the whole comedy and mocking each other just goes way out there.
Nah, I don't think so. Comedy, I think, is at an all-time high at the moment. Comedians are huge.
Oh, yeah. Actually stand-up comedy. because it is so raw and real.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
It's massive, man. I think in these times we need it even more.
We need it now.
We need it even more.
We need it in film again.
Yeah,
like,
we do.
You know, like
I think people are trying, and I just suppose you can't. What's difficult, like I said, Hollywood's not making as much money, right? Film industry that we grew up with is just not as profitable as it once was. So they want to play it safe and cash cow with series. Hence why Mission Impossible fucking 12 or some shit, right? So people who want to push the boundaries, make some new type of media or film. I mean, you got Netflix and you got Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and all these other ones. Like you can always like make them and pitch, or just YouTube, release a movie on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's not the same because it's like you're not at the movies or it's not being promoted the same way, you know, which is a shame because then so much great film and series get made, but then it will just be released independently, which is always like, it'd be nice if this was
there's nothing like
in a mainstream.
Nothing like when they make something like that. But there's certain things like the airplane movie or The Gods Must Be Crazy. The bottle cap falls out of the sky and a little African man's running around going.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, bro, watch The Gods Must Be Crazy.
I haven't seen that. I have to watch it.
Yep.
What else? I had a couple I wrote down as well. Ali G. Oh, could you do Ali G?
Now he'd get cancelled straight away.
Oh, that interview with David Beckham though. That's so funny.
Oh yeah,
David Beckham and Posh Spice. Fuck, that's still a funny interview.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. Ooh, good one.
Because of the title.
Yeah, and just the tone of the movie, right?
But the thing is that people be like, oh, you're harassing people that are maybe slightly handicapped or whatever. I'd be like, well, do you know how similar I am to these people?
Yeah, look at them. I'm like, I relate.
Me, myself, and Irene. I just watched that recently. That's fucking brilliant.
I've heard of that. I never
Jim
watched
Carrey,
it.
he's got like 3 black children that are like fucking super, super intelligent. They become like scientists or whatever. It's a long story, but Jim Carrey suffers like this narcissistic involuntary rage thing. And he like turns into the split personality and stuff. And his wife runs off with a midget dwarf black man. All this and shit is fucking funny. And you watch that. Watch Me, Myself, and Irene. That's always a good one. Probably couldn't get away with that one as well.
I think you couldn't. Another one I wrote down on my list is a series I watched growing up was Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, I know Johnny Bravo.
I don't think you could make that now. It'd be difficult because of all the comments maybe about women.
Bro, you couldn't do MASH because Klinger in MASH was a fucking dude that was dressed up like a woman because he's trying to get kicked out of the fucking... trying to get kicked out of the army, and people are like, that's offensive to trans. Well, fuck it. This dude's trying to get kicked out of the army. His name Klinger.
But I think, Johnny Bravo, her sexy mama, and in the mirror, just like,
yeah.
I love that show.
That's too
up.
masculine. It's too misogynistic.
Did you see the Scooby Doo and Johnny Bravo crossover? No. And both Fred and Johnny are trying to get with Daphne. Was there Daphne there? So good, man.
I didn't realize for ages that. This is going to sound
that
stupid that I didn't realize Shaggy out of Scooby Doo was a full stoner. I was just like, why has he always got the munchies?
Did you ever watch the movies they released?
No.
Like the live one with like what was it? Freddie Prinze Jr. and whatever, like back in the 2000s. And this first one is meant to be like just a stoner movie, but then they changed it to become a kids movie. But all the references to Shaggy being a stoner are there. Like the girl he likes is called Mary Jane. Like him and Scoob, like just too, hungry to focus. Like,
damn, I'm gonna have to blaze one up and watch it.
Or like in the second one, when like I remember there's a scene where they're all walking up like to get some award or whatever, and then all Shaggy's fans, and there's all this smoke, and he's like, and they're all just like, oh, like all his fans are like just laughing at him like stoners. But when I'm 10, I'm like, oh, they're just funny guys.
Yeah, well, see, I remember watching it super young, and I didn't realize they're
just funny guys.
Shaggy's just always chilled out and hungry. Come on, Scoob. Just like,
talking to his dog all the time.
Yeah. Drive around the mystery machine.
Yeah.
Van.
That shit's funny. I love, I want to rewatch those Scooby-Doo movies. God, they're funny.
Yeah, I have not seen them. I've seen like clips of them, but...
Oh, man, so fun.
I was probably a little bit...
Grew up.
I was probably like living like Shaggy at the time.
In the mystery machine.
Yeah, drive around my own cars going, fuck.
Now I grew up watching that. What's another one? Oh, I wrote down one that I thought maybe couldn't be made. Forrest Gump. Could you still make Forrest Gump?
Nah, because it's fucking he's handicapped. You can't. Well,
But like Tom Hanks playing someone who is handicapped.
they would have to make it so it's real serious and about the
Yeah.
achievement and not like Forrest Gump.
It's not like the life journey, right?
He's kind of taking the piss out of himself, and he's like disabled.
Yeah, but it's taking the piss, but it's also like an amazing journey,
It's
right?
freaking hilarious.
It's an amazing movie.
Yeah, it's freaking hilarious, and he just ends up here and there and there and here, and it's just like all the stuff's going on with this like slow dude. He's just like, what? Yeah, nah, probably couldn't do Forrest.
I don't know if you can make that, which would suck. It's such a good movie.
See, that's what's
Such a
annoying,
good
man.
movie.
If you start naming off like the stuff that we're talking about and say, yeah,
Could you make it?
just get rid of it, man? We should just like make sure that these films are seen by people. Yeah.
So important though. Like
It is.
I believe like especially Forrest Gump. Like I feel like everybody should watch that in their life.
Yeah. That's
One of those classic like must watches.
That's like you got your Shawshank Redemption and all that. Yeah, you definitely have to watch Forrest Gump.
if you want to watch it. If we want to talk about a brutal movie from back then, not exactly a comedy, but or like it's just really dark as Schindler's List.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking hell.
That is brutal.
heavy.
Yeah, that's a heavy movie.
Yep. No, that is.
You probably could still make that now because that's just a serious, like more. It's a film, but it's more like a slice of like history.
Well,
in
yeah.
film.
If you had to explain to someone about like the war, you'd be like, watch this film.
Well, the German Western side of the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned a lot more recently about the Japanese side of World War II, and oh boy, I thought the German side was dark. Nope, nah.
Yeah. We don't hear about the.
Don't hear about the Japanese side as much. They
Nope.
keep it quiet. The Japanese still don't admit to their war crimes either. That's what's wild about it. The Germans have like memorials and talk about it being the worst thing.
Yeah, and
they've
they
ever done.
never want to go back to it.
Yeah,
They just
Japanese just like under the rug. Don't even mention it.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy, man.
Yeah.
And like that's why the tensions from what I've read about like in Asia, I'm like well, I can understand why people don't like the Japanese, what they went over and did in China and what they did in the
I know,
Philippines
'cause,
over in South and Korea as well. It's like the war. It's like it's pretty fucking. Let's just say. Fucked up. Almost as bad as the. Not saying it. Not to compare tragedies, but
Yeah.
people should learn about these ones as well. There should be common knowledge.
Yeah. Trying to think like what other sort of films, because I was thinking this week I was like I'm going to watch heaps of films and get real educated on this because I actually love watching films. I love going to the cinema. That's my favorite thing is like going to a cinema, turning off my phone and like experiencing everything, whether it's funny or like generally a sci-fi.
Sci-fi like the Marvel films, like those. Yeah, watching the Marvel films, I don't like them all, but watching them in the movies, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I'd never watch that at home, but if someone said,
They're
"Hey,
fun.
I got you a
They're
ticket
fun.
for the Marvel film in the cinema," I'd be like, "All right, now I get to experience in the sound and the big picture.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's much better."
It's made for it.
Yeah.
Like there's some movies I'm like, this isn't gonna be great story, but it's gonna be fun. And that's the whole reason I want to go. I want to have fun. But not everything needs to have a fucking message.
I think you remember the movie Hot Shots. There's like part 1 and part 2, Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen. He was so roided up in those movies. But that's like mocking the American military.
Oh yeah,
He's just taking
this 90s.
Yeah, he's just taking the piss out of it harder. It's so funny, man, and just the Hot Shots part 1 and part 2. It's the first one is like a full piss take of it's gone out of my head, man. Tom Cruise flying planes, blah blah blah.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he's taking the piss out of Top Gun.
that.
He just fully takes the piss out of Top Gun. The second one is taking the piss out of like parts of Rambo and Jean-Claude Van Damme sort of stuff like.
Oh, Van Damme.
Yeah. So he's just taking the piss out of all that stuff. It's quite crack up. It's very cheesy, but it's very good as well. So, it's quite good.
Top Gun movie is like the peak of like 80s American culture. I think it's the peak.
I
of
like it. I didn't realize it was like
It's pretty cringe.
it's pretty gay, man. It's a bunch of dudes with the shirts off, like high-fiving and slapping each other on the ass or oiled up playing volleyball.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really see that, do you?
No, you don't think about it really at the
I
time.
never thought about that. I was like, man, that's pretty gay.
Yeah.
I was just like, this film.
I'm flying jets
rules.
though.
Yeah. Another one would be like, I don't know about this. Yeah, you probably could get it these days. Is Police Academy. I think. I think you could get the Police Academy films though. There's some. Yeah, they were quite funny in the day. I like them.
I never watched. I've seen like clips, but I haven't actually watched them fully. Bong. Yeah. What's another one? And the James Bond ones. I reckon James Bond films up until like probably Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Probably not that. Like it'd be quite difficult to remake.
Nah,
you couldn't.
You couldn't do that. They wouldn't.
So many.
They wouldn't allow that. And it's the same with like this things in the movie, the airplane part, in the movie Airplane, where all the crowd's just like slapping the woman on the face. It's just like, oh, you couldn't do that these days. Have they made another film that's... I was thinking about this is more on a darker side. You can do movies like The Exorcist and stuff like that. I mean, they did like the Conjuring series of films and stuff, but there's been nothing as... In my head, there's nothing as brutal that's ever come out like The Exorcist.
The very first one.
Yeah. Would they show that, or is that offensive to religion these days?
I don't think people care too much about religion. Good question, though. That's actually, I haven't thought about that. Because if you make a film, well, yeah, like...
It's basically, it's like glorifying the devil on mainstream.
Nah, I don't think you get in trouble for that. Because it's still very, like, what's it called? Supernatural. So it's very exaggerated. It's like if you made a film about any type of religion and made it like a horror film. I think people wouldn't have a problem with it. I think if you start taking the piss out of it, people might be... I mean, but that's been a case forever.
But that's what Scary Movie did. They were taking the piss out of The Exorcist and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but that's out of The Exorcist, though. That's The Exorcist, though, not the religion.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different. So if you start saying things like, Christianity, blah, blah, Buddhism, blah, blah, Hinduism like this, and it's like that's when I think the problems will start. I think that's when you start getting real kickback.
Well, that's like the Team America sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's where they would take it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think if you really drive on religion like that, if you really hone it down, just like literally being like trying to take the piss and being like you're all stupid and dumb and horrible, it's like that's gonna.
There's probably heaps of things that someone will listen in and be like, oh, you should have said this film. Yeah, there probably is. It's just not on my head right now. I thought I'd watch heaps of stuff this week and be like, yeah, I remember that. There is certain things like I was like, Team America. You probably couldn't get that out these days. White Chicks, maybe not. Scary movies, maybe not.
Yeah, a lot of those scary movies, date movie, epic movie. All of those, not another teen movie. Oh, you can probably do that.
You could do that. You could do that, and you could do the American.
But it's just so different though. Like growing up watching those films, and then like what high school's like, and then high school now, like the differences of like what life is like. It's incredibly different.
Everyone's on their phones.
Yeah, well, there's no phones.
Yeah, imagine a film these days. You just see like a crowd of people all just swiping right.
Everyone does on apps.
They walk up to another chick. Oh, how's it going? Yes, and then they walk away, as opposed to like saying, "How's it going?" Yeah,
I think there is a lot of pushback though against a lot of those apps from a lot of younger people though.
We need some films to come out like the Scary Movie things.
I know. I think people need to just like relax a little bit.
Yeah,
people need to like chill out a bit.
Let's have some funny films. Bring it. Yeah. Like, come on, Eddie Murphy. Like you just don't care about.
But isn't it? Yeah, it's interesting because you'd think that more comedy films. Oh well, I don't know. Who was I talking to about? Who was I talking to about this? Like this like how an economy is going or like politics right in a country. Entertainment doesn't always like depending on how hard times are. Films are used purely for escapism. So, for example, like in the 90s and there, a lot of grimy, dark films came out. But that's because like in Hollywood and in America was doing so well. The economy was really strong. So you can actually do those sorts of things because people are willing to watch it. But when times get harder, darker, or things that struggle, economy, jobs, yada, 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 generally it's meant to go the other way. So more comedy, more like escapism type, which I think it actually is though, because there's way more supernatural stuff out right now. I saw Mario Brothers yesterday.
Oh, it was good?
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was cute. It's a kid's movie, but it's just really cute.
On the big screen.
Yep.
Sweet.
It's fun, man. It's fun. It's fun.
To see that. Why is it in films? Like basically every friggin' film, like the Arabs are the bad guys. Like
In Western ones, sure. Yeah.
it's just like you look at all the films that like Arnie's been in, like Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
and it's just like, and he's always hunting.
Or the Russians.
Yeah, it's like the Russians or the Arabs, and it's just man, he's just going after them, and you grow up with this mentality, just going, they're bad people, and it's like.
But now it's reversed. Like a lot of Disney now is like it'll be people of color, and then the white person is all evil.
Yeah, if you're a straight white male, then you're the devil.
But that's so ironic, how that works. I want to watch the North Korean ones because they hate Americans. So I want to watch the ones where they the North Korean leader like takes down the American oppressor or whatever.
Shit, that would be good.
That'd be intense. But that'd be a big thing. But that's all their films because from what I've heard from I went down rabbit holes of North Korean defectors talking about their film industry, and you always have to reference the empire, and reference the North Korean Empire and the leader and how great they're doing and how we need to fight against these horrible oppressors, which is South Korea, Japan, and America. They're the biggest enemies of North Korea. So it's
surely the Russians would have a few of these, wouldn't they?
Russian propaganda probably definitely does. Yeah, definitely. There's pictures actually. And I saw so as I went down the rabbit hole, like North Korean propaganda of like Americans, and their noses are like fucking huge and shit, and make them all look like really big and like whack. It's like,
Fuck.
It's like so interesting. It's like but in New Zealand, we don't really have. We don't have anything really like that.
Yeah, all their like
No one really hates us.
Nah.
No one hates New Zealand. People may dislike the people here or hate some things about it, but no one. I'm talking about other countries on a level of like.
Well, a lot of people don't even know what we are.
No, we're at the bottom of the world, by Antarctica. It's far
We're
away.
New Zealand.
It's far away.
Where the hell is that?
But no one like hates it though. Whereas you go to any other you go to Europe, man. Oh, there's tension everywhere.
Yeah, I suppose.
Or you go at African countries, a lot of there's tension there. Asian countries, like I said before about Japan, it's strong. So, but no one in New Zealand. I guess we're lucky, right? No one really is New Zealanders committed this crime and did this thing. Fuck them. If I ever see one in the street, I can't talk to them. We don't experience that. We don't actually experience that, which is kind of, unique.
What's kind of weird is
In a good way.
In the film,
I don't want that to change.
in the films as well, a lot for the Americans, they make out about a lot about the Mexican cartel, but sadly a lot of that's true as well.
Very true.
Fuck, it's like you watch it and you go, oh man. For us that are so far away from that side of the world,
So far away.
we're sitting here going, oh, it's painting Mexicans as really bad. They're not bad people, but then you realize that that's so corrupt. You're like, oh shit, this is actually going on. Yeah, man.
South American. I mean, to think about, did you watch Narcos?
No.
Oh, dude, watch it. Pablo Escobar really delves deep into and also the Medellin cartel and the Mexican cartel.
El Chapo.
Yeah. But it talks about Pablo Escobar and when he was really strong. He was actually in the Colombian government house because at the time he was in Forbes top 10.
So do they have
Crazy.
those films over there?
What do you mean?
Wow.
What talking about
How
Pablo
bad?
Escobar?
Yeah. Do you reckon they have those films that are showing there, and it's or they're not allowed to have that over there?
Oh no, in South America they all know about it.
Right.
So for example, in Colombia, Pablo Escobar is still so famous, right? And people believe he was doing good. People believe he was the Robin Hood.
I think he did generate. He dug, didn't he? I have to.
He
go.
generated a lot of. I mean, that guy was.
He was running that country
He almost was.
Yeah.
Because he got so powerful that he was running for parliament,
Yeah.
and he was giving money to all the poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was. He check out the series, man. It goes into all that.
All right. Well,
It's pretty
that's
amazing.
my favorite. A couple of my favorite films that kind of relate to that, or that drug trafficking thing, is the Sicario films. Sicario
films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are. Yeah, it's about drug trafficking and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they're really really cool. I like that.
Out of it.
Sicario.
I have to check those out.
What's another one? The Goonies.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in.
Because it's got that dude who's
Bro, I haven't watched the Goonies since I was 5 Fuck, man. I think I was in the UK.
You know, Stylebender did that like
Damn.
meme of like Marvin Vittori, and he looks like that fucked up dude from the Goonies. That's just the best meme, fuck, whatever you want to say. Yeah, and it's Marvin Vittori, the UFC fighter, looks like the Goonies dude. It's fucking funny as.
I haven't watched that in a long time.
Yep.
I would love to watch the Goonies again. That's a fun time. That's fun.
Yep.
Yeah. What else? Don't know.
I don't really know either. A lot of stuff these days is sci-fi, which is good.
There's a lot of fantasy.
Yeah, a lot of fantasy.
A lot of fantasy stuff. Lord of the Rings series is a big thing. Oh, The Boys. You watch The Boys?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Bro, you would love... Oh, bro, out of all the people, you'd love that show so much.
You reckon?
Oh, you'd love it. It is fucking ruthless.
Right. Just saying I'm not that ruthless.
But you are ruthless.
Joking.
You'd love it. You would love it. Yeah, man. I can't believe you haven't seen The Boys.
But there's heaps of films like that they probably couldn't show these days.
It's not a film. It's a TV series. It's like 5 seasons of this craziness.
Have you seen...
4 seasons?
I don't know if they could do it now. Have you seen The Hills Have Eyes?
Oh, the very first one?
The first one.
From like the 70s, right?
Oh, no. Sorry, not that. No. That's just like maybe early 2000s. That one?
I know of it, yeah. I used to hate horror films, so I used to stay away from it.
Bruh. I love horror. I kind of grew up on it. But
I'm too pussy from a lot of it. But I have seen like quite a few horror films. I've seen It. I've seen like a lot of slasher films, but they're not that scary. Slasher films aren't super scary.
Well, I was introduced to Freddy Kreuger at the age of 5 years old. One late evening, because my brother used to run around with he had a Freddy Kreuger jersey with all the stripes on it, and he had the hat, and he had like a fake glove, and he used to run around chasing me, and I was just like, it was scary. And then, I think it was like, this is in the 80s, by the way.
I would have fucking killed him.
Yeah.
That to me.
Oh, bro, he's my older brother. But there was I think they were airing one of the Freddy Kreuger films on TV, and I had heard about it, and my brother had gone to his friend's place for like a sleepover to watch it. And I was only like 5. I must have been about 5. And I was harassing Mum, like, oh, what is it? And she's like, no, you're going to bed, blah, 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 blah. You're not watching this garbage on TV. So she must have turned on the TV to watch what this big Freddy Kreuger thing is. Why my brother's running around freaking the hell out of me with this glove on. And then I kind of heard the film going, and I snuck out of my room, snuck down the hallway, and I peered out right when Freddy Kreuger has pulled out the tendons of this person and working them like a puppet, going fucking gave me the shits. And ever since that, I was so scared of Freddy Kreuger. But then I realized Freddy Kreuger's kind of a comical, he's a bad guy, but some of the early Freddy Kreuger stuff, it's kind of funny now to watch. But he was essentially a pedophile. And the
essentially,
yeah, that's the one of the last Freddy Kreuger films to come out. They sort of said, that's basically what he was. He was a kitty fiddler. That's why, and they lit him on fire, the town, because the police wouldn't do anything about it, and they burned him to hell, and then he came back in kids' dreams,
terrorized
kills all the kids in their dreams and shit. Yeah. So it's kind of out of it, but yeah.
Did you ever watch the Blair Witch Project?
Yep. I remember when that came out. I don't know.
I've seen a little bit of it.
I'd need to rewatch it, but I've seen it. But
it was one of the first handycam type films, right? One of the first ones to do that.
Yeah. Then they did.
It's weird.
Yeah. What other stuff couldn't they show?
Other stuff they can't show? Don't know. I'm trying to think about it. I think mind blank at the moment about other things that you can't show. Don't know.
Nah, I don't know anything either. I think we've covered it.
I think that's all we can really talk about. And things of films and TV shows that
basically Sean Connery. Thank you, sir.
Sean Connery.
God.
Give her a good slap.
And he said that on a bloody he was interviewed on a talk show, and he said that, eh?
Fuck yeah.
Holy shit.
Sean Connery didn't give a shit, man. Guy don't care.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, I think he's still alive.
Jeez.
I think so.
Far out.
Different generation, man. Different time.
Do they do films like, Anthony Hopkins playing the bloody Silence of the Lambs, Cannibal?
Ah, yeah. I mean, you can still do stuff like that.
Yeah,
if it's
that's
like
sweet,
supernatural horror, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I think like when you start, I remember the films that freaked me out when I was younger was the religious type horror films. They would scare the shit. I was kind of raised a Christian, so. And I'd read the Bible and stuff. So when they would have like the Exorcism of Emily Rose, and shit.
So The Exorcist, you've seen The Exorcist?
Yeah, I've seen bits of it. Yeah, I haven't seen.
You haven't watched the whole thing?
Nah, I've never seen the whole thing.
Brilliant film.
Yeah, but a lot of it, I stayed away from it because it actually freaked me the fuck out.
Bro, what's freaky about that film is how the fucking people were actually dying, or the accidents that were happening on set. That kept happening, like in real life.
Yeah,
it was
spooky.
like.
That's spooky.
Well, this is kind of like a warning sign. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, there was a few things that were happening there that weren't ideal. But I love that film. It is daunting.
I have to check it out sometime. I do want to go on like a classic film binge of like horror or all those different genres and stuff. There's some films I've like missed out on that I haven't watched, and that's one of them.
I know that they do them out of like I hate to say it, like the Meg.
The Big Shark.
You know, it really annoys me because like Jaws freaked out a lot of people, and I mean, if you look and the problems and the issues with making Jaws the film, like the shit that blowing the budget so much for this mechanical shark that kept breaking down every 2 seconds, and they tried all this other shit to like film sharks, and it freaked a lot of people out. It's kind of out of it how it painted sharks.
Yeah.
They're not not like this at all.
Nah.
Like it's the total, like they're not like that at all in the water. But yeah, it's kind of...
There's freak things, but it's not as common as it's presented.
Yeah.
There's freak accidents, yeah. But I like the dumb ones. I remember one movie that came out, was it Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus? That shit is great.
Like
man.
Sharknado and snakes on a plane.
Yeah. But like the Snakes on a Plane was probably like one of like the biggest ones. But yeah, I love the Mega Shark. And I just remember there's a scene of everyone's on this plane, and they just get in the plane and look out the window, and the shark is just like how many thousands of feet in the air, just like just grabs the plane and takes it down. Just like, this is dumb. But
Could they do a film like Pulp Fiction again? Because there's like a full gang. Oh, there's like
Quentin Tarantino can get away with whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I think.
I suppose
He's got like a pass. I don't know why. I think because it's just so
creative.
creative.
He just walks into like the.
I think he's just so creative. He's just so creative and so smart. And I think he's just such a film lover that he just makes such good films.
He's going to stop doing films soon. Apparently,
he has a number, right? He's a number.
He's only like one or two films away from. He's at like 1 or 2 films away from retiring or something. Yeah. Which is
he will always do stuff, but I think he'll stop directing and creating.
Yeah. God,
that'll be a shame.
Django,
great movie,
brilliant,
fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that is. I remember going into that, and I was completely like just unaware of what I was going to watch. I was like, Jamie Foxx. And I was like, oh yeah, it's done by Tarantino, cool, blah blah. And I was just like, whoa, fuck, this is intense, man.
Yeah,
like I think they went for the record of the N word in that film.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure they were. They were just going for the record of using the N word, and then but it painted a very real picture of certain times in America. All the slave fighting and the slaves in the cotton fields and all that sort of stuff, and the big house. We'll go over to the big house, and but yeah, there is like, and it's just typical Tarantino film. It just goes to 100 at certain parts.
So much dialogue as well.
Yeah, it just gets typical Tarantino.
Imagine doing the lines for one of his films. Fuck, you have to remember so much. They're so dialogue heavy.
Such good actors in that film too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
That's a fucking top up there film. Okay, what would you say if there's a movie you recommend anybody to watch that you love a lot? What is it?
Oh, like films, like my favorite film. Obviously, a film I would tell someone to always go and watch is definitely like your classics, like your Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
The Green Mile. Stuff like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Things like that. my favorites, The Matrix as well.
Matrix,
the original Matrix, because it's kind of like living in the social world to the reality world is kind of happening that way, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
That there's also, I would say, a big favorite of mine is Terminator 2. Also, Predator, and Aliens with Sigourney Weaver. I think that's.
I still haven't seen Aliens.
Whoa, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
What do you mean you haven't seen Aliens?
I haven't seen it.
Whoa, dude. Okay, this podcast is now called The Only Scot. The Only Scots. I'm disappointed, man. What the hell?
I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it? I've seen a bit of Alien. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh man,
I haven't seen Aliens either.
Okay, so there's Aliens, Alien 3,
Yeah.
Aliens Resurrection, and then it goes into Aliens vs Predator 1 and 2, and then obviously Prometheus and those films.
There's so many.
Yeah, but like
I have to watch the first few.
What? Why? Why have you not watched these films?
They just haven't. My folk, like I know, growing up, it just wasn't there. Like my folks weren't into that stuff.
Well, an alien is called a xenomorph.
Oh,
Yeah, that's an interesting.
okay.
Bro, it's fucking.
Nah, I know.
Like, for me-
I want to watch it. It wasn't around. You gotta remember, like I wasn't in the 80s, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was.
Like to be.
Was it 79 that Alien was done? Fuck, I'm gonna go watch that tonight. I've watched it like 100 times, dude. Like hundreds of times probably, and I've got like the whole DVD collection. If you know what a DVD is, it's not a streaming service. And yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure it was like 79 they did Alien, and then maybe like 83 or 84 they did Aliens, which is the second one, which is probably the best war one. It's just like a fucking war.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's got Bill Paxton in it, and
I'll put it on my list.
yeah, Alien, because it's like there's some funny shit in there. You're gonna be like, man, that's just crappy latex and stuff blowing up. But it's like, like the idea of it, Ridley Scott. Sorry, itching my ear. No, I think that's definitely on my list. Same with like the Predator, and then you learn the story of what the Predator is. What they say, Aliens vs Predator. I don't know if those were just films that were, but they kind of coincide with each other. But Aliens, and then Aliens 3. It didn't do so well. I still like it, and then Aliens Resurrection is kind of like a bit weird, but it's still cool. Yeah. So those I like sci-fi and I like horror. I like my Freddy Kreuger films as well. Love The Exorcist. Yeah, there's heaps of films.
Those are your favorite ones. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like more. My sci-fi is like where I'm at.
About Star Wars, that's like my thing.
Yeah, I grew up. I think my favorite one there was Return of the Jedi, but then as I've gotten older, like I love Return of the Jedi. I also love like Empire Strikes Back.
That's interesting for us though, because we're like kind of two different generations, right?
Yeah.
But Star Wars for you and for me, it's like it's new for you when you were young. Because when did the last one come out? Like the episode 6. Sorry. When did that come out? Because episode 4 is 75 or 70. Oh no, 77. 77.
They did Star Wars, then Empire Strikes Back, then Return of the Jedi.
But when did that? Because for me, it's like when I
Google it.
I should. I have the poster. I should fucking know this.
Google like Return of the Jedi, because I'm pretty sure that was like also another film that I love. They could definitely make these. We're kind of going off tangent here a little bit, but a film Back to the Future.
77. I was right. So that's episode 4. Which one's Empire Strikes Back? That's 1980, isn't it?
And Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi, I was so in love with as a kid.
Oh, the Ewoks and stuff.
Yeah.
That's fun as a kid.
Yeah, man.
1980 is episode 5. Episode 6 is 1983. Oh, so just kind of you were born. Yeah, so okay.
I was 83, so
yeah, you're born on that one. Because for me, like when episode 1 came out, that was huge. So I remember when I was a kid, like 5.
Another one I loved is Labyrinth. David Bowie.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Oh my god! Fuck!
I haven't seen Labyrinth.
What?
I know the movie. but I haven't seen it.
Can you believe this? No aliens.
No.
No labyrinth.
Mm-mm.
Fuck, what have you seen?
Well, my favorite movies are like, The Departed,
Yeah, but that's no
Fight
labyrinth.
Club. I love that.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Fight Club. But like classic movies, like
Gone with the Wind.
I actually haven't. Have I seen the whole thing? Maybe. It's been a long time since I've watched anything like that. Casablanca. That's going way back. That's actually a classic film I actually should watch. 40s, I think. Casablanca.
So
One of the
what? So
biggest
what?
ones.
Okay, then. So we know what I like. My movies, like the movies that I love, and I would say to people would span my whole generation, because there's films like Django, which isn't that old.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, and it's right up there, and that's like Dusk Till Dawn as well. Dusk Till Dawn by Tarantino. Have you seen that?
Nope.
Oh,
But I know it though.
George Clooney in his heyday, mate. Fucking what a stud, badass motherfucker he is. With, that it's funny as well because that's got is it Cheech from Cheech and Chong?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's in it, and man, it's just like when they roll up to that. You'll see in that there's a part where they roll up to a club. It's like a truckers bar, and it's called the Titty Twister, and it's got Cheech, and you'll see what he's saying. You'll be like,
Yeah.
if there was a part for a film, like if there was a part for me in a film, I'd be playing that part, and you'll see the guy when he's announcing what sort of pussy comes out of that Titty Twister. I'd be like, yeah, that's a part for Scott to act in the film.
Right.
That's brilliant. It's basically, and it's got Salma Hayek. She's goddamn gorgeous.
Yeah. She's gorgeous.
You should see. So that is a straight out like gore film, and Tarantino is like a complete nut job in it. Yeah. So
Like he is in real life.
yeah, but he's like a psycho in this. Yeah, and Clooney's like James Dean sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's just a badass, but it's just about wasting vampires.
Oh, speaking of Psycho. American Psycho.
Yep.
That's a great film.
It is a great film.
I like that a lot.
Yep.
That's one of my favorites. One of my, yeah.
Can all these films get made these days, though?
Yeah. I mean, that's just initial. Like, it's weird. So, American Psycho is meant to be taking the piss out of like those Wall Street, stock people and stuff. But people who are in the industry love that movie and like, yeah, that's me. It's like it's meant to be a parody of you. Wolf of Wall Street, love that one. It's one of my favorites as well. That's up there. That's great.
That is great.
That's high up there. I haven't really watched, apart from that Mario one, I haven't really watched many movies in a while. I'm watching series. I prefer series than movies.
Really, I'm the opposite. I can't handle series.
When I find a good series, I'm obsessed. I love it.
Which is weird because I ride bikes and I didn't watch Sons of Anarchy. And another
Did you
thing,
not watch Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't watch Sons of Anarchy.
Or this is gonna shock people. Breaking Bad.
Have you not watched Breaking Bad,
man.
bro? Whoa, that's fuck.
Yeah, I've watched bits and then I was like, I hate this because it's a fucking series. I just want to get on with it.
That's my irk now. You have to watch Breaking Bad. I have to watch Aliens, all right?
Yeah, you have to watch Aliens,
Yeah.
Dusk Till Dawn, and Labyrinth.
Okay. You have to fucking watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I'll watch that shit, man.
You'll like it as well.
Yeah, no,
You've got to be patient.
I've
Be
seen.
patient. You don't have patience. So fucking good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I know it is good as well, and I've seen a couple of the episodes, but I haven't watched it start to finish, and I need to watch it start from finish. And sorry,
it's brutal.
Sorry for offending you, but this dude hasn't watched Labyrinth, Dust Till Dawn, or Aliens. And that's worse. So
some people be like, what's that? At least I know what they are.
yeah, that's true. Imagine
I know what they are, bro.
the thing is like you can show kids these films these days. They'd just be bored in a second.
You know what? I remember them showing Labyrinth. I'm pretty sure when I was a kid and I get my injections done at school.
Really?
And then you get your injection done and you go sit. They had Mr. Bean or they'd play that or something. But I think one year they had Labyrinth. But I remember
wow.
I remember he was all these creatures, David Bowie.
Yeah, man.
I remember that scene.
And babies said dance, magic dance.
But then I think after that, that's just all. But yeah, so I have memories of stuff.
That's David Bowie at his greatest, man. He's
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, man, he's gangster in that film, dude.
He seemed like such a cool guy.
Oh, it's who's the girl in it?
songwriter.
Jennifer Connelly. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. But yeah, there's some there's a scene in there that'll get you cracking up.
Oh, I just thought of a movie that you probably can't make now. Friday.
I thought about that before.
Do you reckon you could make Friday?
Ice Cube could definitely make that.
You reckon?
Yeah, just because of his star power and his just mug face and anyone that challenges.
Bring back Chris Tucker for that. That's so funny.
Yeah, he could do it.
God,
yeah,
that movie
I
is
reckon
funny.
he could definitely do it, eh? Craig. Yeah, no, it's definitely that. When did I actually what's funny is like, when did I come back from, I was like 3 weeks ago. I went overseas, came back. That's what I watched.
Friday.
On the way
So
home.
fun.
It's so funny, bro. I was cracking up. Yeah.
So that's a great one.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam Sandler films that were like really big. So like Billy Madison, could you make that? Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Some of the jokes you probably can't make, but you could probably still make it.
I reckon you can still.
I don't know if it would be as funny though. That's the thing. It's like some of these things are funny at the time, and sometimes like I don't think they like the humor might not age well, or maybe it ages okay, but it's just not as funny.
There's
Because
parts,
the references you watch, you're like,
there's parts of Happy Gilmore I watch it. I'm like, I'm kind of like that dude. Like he's like super normal, and what the fuck ball? Like just gets
starts yelling at the golf ball.
yeah, just getting super angry and swearing.
Anger Management, that's another one.
Yeah.
That's a funny, I like Anger Management. That's a good movie. I am calm. Just like,
Here's another one that you
Anger
may
Management.
not have seen, which is absolutely iconic. The Shining. Have you seen The Shining?
no.
Oh my!
You know why I hadn't watched The Shining? Is because my mum would never let me watch it because she hated it growing up.
It's look.
and then I didn't watch it later. I don't know why.
Like even one of your favorite musicians do a video clip on it. Slipknot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Spit
man.
it out. That's the.
Yeah.
I know. I know the references. I just haven't seen the whole movie.
That's
Start to finish. I've seen the one that flew over the cuckoo's nest. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's fucking crazy.
But like Jack Nicholson in it's just the movie Shining. Like it's long. Okay, I'll say that it's very long.
That's long. Yeah.
It's long, but it's an absolute masterpiece of insanity. Of just and then like just going completely insane. Yeah, and then trying to hunt down your family and murder them. And your son has a special gift of being able to. That's what The Shining is. The Shining. He can kind of see things.
Yeah, my mum saw that in the movies at the time. She said it
Wow.
was so fucking scary.
Man, that would have been brilliant. Well, it's like people when they went and watched Jaws. Yeah.
Same reaction, right?
I think you could make. Well, they're trying to like Jaws these days. They make the Meg, which to me is a really crap version of it.
But it is funny.
Yeah, it's more comical.
Yeah, I don't think it's meant to be serious.
Whereas the like film like The Shining, it was just iconic.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah. I mean, showing that it's shock value, right?
Shock value.
Shock value of that was just like.
That reminds me of another film at that time that I haven't watched, but I want to watch. Clockwork Orange. It was a very like controversial artsy film made at the time. There's a very famous scene of like this is fucked up, but they have like a rape scene in it. It's very famous, and they're like singing, I'm singing in the rain, da-da, and then like rape this chick. It's like pretty
That's like
fucking
American
messed up.
History X.
Yeah, I haven't seen all of that, but that's brutal from what I know.
Yeah. So you've got a list. I need to write you a list of films that you need to watch, and they might. Yeah, I think they'll really inspire you, like creativity, like also like shock value. And I think because you're quite open-minded, you can be like, "Fuck, imagine watching this in that time," and you'd be like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
I think that's what makes Star Wars so brilliant, is because of what they were doing. It was so far outside the.
So far out of the
It was
box.
just like, what?
yeah.
Even they're like, okay, their CGI was not great, but for that time,
It's incredible.
And-
no one had ever done anything like
and the
that.
figurines and the puppetry and
Yeah,
all
the thing I read about was how they did their Foley and like the sound effects. They use like parking meters for like to record the parking meter sounds to then use them and then manipulate the sound to make like spaceship noises.
It's
Like so creative.
it's the spaceship things. It's like the people that had to wear the Yoda outfit or the puppetry doing
the
that.
puppets, yeah.
Jabba the Hutt. I was just always amazed by Jabba the Hutt. I was just like, this shit's cool. Like, it's just massive slug.
Yeah.
You know, it was awesome. But yeah, other than that, I don't know.
Star Wars or Lord of the Rings?
Fuck Lord of the Rings.
Oh, called out.
Fuck Lord of the Rings. Star
Damn.
Wars all day.
I love Star Wars, but I would choose Star Wars over Lord of the Rings, but I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't.
What's the guy? Bilbo, Dildo Baggins, Dildo Baggins, and Phobo or Homo.
But that's like a New Zealand commercial. It actually is like a commercial.
It is a little bit, eh?
It's like oh look for South Island.
It's like, here's our backyard. It's
Yeah.
sweet.
It's just like look at that. It's like oh cool.
Yeah, nah, I wasn't like cool for what it is, but was it? I don't, the only thing that captures me in that film was the precious. Was you know that little
Schmeagles.
Smeagol. Like like that's the only thing that really gets.
They're
me
so
out of it.
they're very low, but I know a lot of people who, like the passion level for Lord of the Rings is just like crazy. There's nothing that says crazy as about a chick who loves Harry Potter. That really says crazy.
Yeah, I've tried to watch some Harry Potter stuff. Yeah, nah, just kind of I lose interest.
That's very much my generation. People are obsessed with that.
Yeah,
Still
I know.
obsessed.
I know.
And the books as well. Like I read, I think the first book or two, and I was like, I'm not really into like wizards and magic and things. I like sci-fi as well. Like that's more what I like as well. But then fuck man, people were obsessed with Harry Potter. Still are. I think they still are, but I just remember growing up like, shit, that was everywhere. Like the books to the movies, and when they were going at the same time, holy fuck, man.
You know Star Wars. I
know of it.
I had a DVD called Porn Wars.
It's a porn version of Star
It
Wars.
was a porn version. It was epic, man. It was so good.
It's like R269 too or some shit. Or something.
The CGI was terrible.
CP3 fuck you or something.
Oh, bro, it was funny. Hey, there was just like, yeah.
Bad puns.
I'm not going to go into it, but
I can only imagine the puns.
I had a porno named Porn Wars.
Porn Wars.
And it was a mockery of Star Wars. And it was like European, so it was really... I mean, of course it's European. It was like really bad English in it. It was hilarious. So Porn Wars.
That's... Porn Wars. That's funny. Porn remakes of films. That is one way to make them... Yeah. Is that to ruin them? Don't know. If you love it though, just something, especially something innocent, and then it just becomes porn.
Yeah, man.
They did it with Scooby Doo. I know that.
Yep. Yeah, I can't think of much else.
Nah, I think we should just call it there.
Yeah, bro.
But that I got a list. You got to watch Breaking Bad.
All right, I got to watch Breaking Bad and
Game of Thrones. Have you seen that?
Yeah, but it's not really my thing, man.
Not a fan of Game of Thrones.
Nah.
To be fair, I wasn't that big on it until I watched more. Man, The Boys.
The Boys.
You got to watch The Boys.
The
Breaking
Boys
Bad.
and Breaking Bad.
Yeah, you will love The Boys. Honestly, man, I reckon the first episode you'll be hooked.
Well, the thing is, Breaking Bad's just like up north. It's just like teachers creating meth labs with fucking...
That's just every day.
Yeah, bro. This is just standard. Go down K Road right now. Fucking hell. Okay, so The Boys, Breaking Bad. I have watched some Breaking Bad, and another one that I think series-wise. I mean, these can all get made these days, but as my mate was like telling me, he was annoyed that I haven't watched all of the Sons of Anarchy as well. Being a bikie myself and stuff.
Even I've seen a couple of episodes of that.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. It was a little bit cheesy at some points, but I was just like, it's so good. Like, riding around on bikes, being badass. Yeah, I was like, sweet.
And I gotta watch Aliens.
You gotta watch Aliens, The Shining, Labyrinth.
Dusk Till, was that one?
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Yes, you must. I mean, I'll write this shit down and send it to you. Eh?
Yeah,
You gotta watch all this shit, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, have to. Alrighty, we out.
We out.
Later.